Okay, we're gonna get started with the karakia. So ka tuku atu ki tā tātou te ngahi hiritanga a mo te ata. Tuku atu wairua kia rere ki ngā taumata hei arahi a tātou mahi. Me tā tātou whai ngā tika ngā rātou mā. Kia mau, kia ita, kia kore ai engaro, kia puritia, kia whakamaua, kia tēnā, haumi e, hui e, tai ki e. A tēnā rā tātou kei wakunui, kei wakurahi, tēnā tātou katoa ko hono mai a rorohiko, ki tēnei kaupapa o tātou Practice Foundations 2026. Nau mai, taringa pikari mai, ki ngā pūkōrero o te wā. Welcome to everyone that's joined us this morning. It's good to see some familiar faces this morning. So welcome once, welcome twice, welcome 3 times. I hope you enjoy the session today. We've got myself, your host today, as every other session, Riri from Healthy Families, collabing with Auckland Collab, Practice Foundations. We've also got a team in the background. We've got Kelly, we've got Lee and Penny that are also in the background. If you ever need to reach out, don't be shy to reach out during the session via chat forum. You can message them there. We've also got Jackie Chen, who has joined our Practice Foundation for a while now, but is in our team as well, doing our illustrations for 2026 series. Jackie will share the start of her illustration at the end of the session, and then the full illustration will be shared online in 2 weeks' time. Welcome again to everyone. To those that are new, welcome. I can't thank you enough for joining online this morning. The purpose of our Practice Foundation, though, was the online monthly community of practice for public sector teams doing ambitious and complex mahi, co-hosted by Auckland Co-Design Lab and Healthy Families Whānau. In our session today, we will share the practical tools and insights and examples of how whānau-centred mātauranga Māori-led ways of working are making a real difference for whānau and Hapori across Aotearoa. So we'd like to acknowledge that this is a difficult time for many people, and we'd like to encourage and support everyone to take good care of themselves and each other as much as you can. We hope that you find coming together today is a session that's restorative. So we have Kelly, again, as I mentioned earlier, that's in the background. If any concerns or issues, feel free to reach out to her. We also want to let everyone know that we won't be allowing any bots like Read AI to attend these sessions. This is in order to keep this place a safe place for people to connect. And if you're unable to attend, most of our sessions are recorded and will be watched online, available online. So, again, what's today's session? What have we got today for everyone? We have the privilege of hearing from Tyrone Tangata Makiri, who is a descendant from Kūki ʻāirani and Ngāpuhi, of second half, and about his experience working with AI alongside the Hapori within his own whānau. So, using real examples, Tyrone will show how the Hapori and whānau are encouraging with these tools and how they can be used in ways to support whānau aspirations and enable more collective forms of decision making. So what does it look like for today? So 90-minute session will be a part of whakawhanaungatanga within small breakout groups as we do normally. And then we're going to hear kōrero from Tyrone. We have a fun interactive activity where you're able to decide how to finish Tyrone's, how we finish with Tyrone's session. So the end with some time will be the whole kōrero of wānanga as well at the end of it. So, our kai kōrero, a special welcome to Tyrone Tangata Makiri, who has a background in creative technology, community development, and business development. He now co-leads second half, helping community and community-driven organizations navigate the AI with confidence. He is a father of 2, a loyal, wise, and Minnesota Timberwolves fan, and he's just comfortable in deep kōrero as he is with a plate of ikamata. So, ka tukuna te kōrero, te rākau kōrero kia koe Tyrone, e takurahi, tēnā koe.
Kia ora, Rari. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. And yes, I just want to bring it back that I am a big Waz fan, so I hope there's other Waz fans out here today. But before getting into, I guess, a bit more of a deeper introduction into myself, we are going to break out into a breakout room. So I'm just going to quickly share my screen and kind of tell you guys what that breakout room is going to consist of. So give me a quick sec. Um, there we go. Cool. So we're going to jump into a breakout room, and basically the question is going to be, what is one thing you use or even avoid because you don't know how it works? So we're going to arrange you guys into breakout rooms. You guys are going to introduce yourself, probably say which organization are you coming from, or even if you want to share where in the motu you're coming from as well. And then this will be the question that will help within the breakout room. Once you finish that, we'll get into the main kōrero. Cool, ka pai. Ruri. I thought I'll pop up my presentation as I continue our conversation. So yeah, appreciate everyone jumping into the breakout rooms and discussing that and getting to obviously meet new people as well, hopefully. I do realize I didn't give you any examples, but I knew you were all a smart bunch of people and were able to kind of figure out how to answer that question. And basically, it's a bit of a loaded question because obviously we're going to be talking a little bit around AI. So glad to see that there are people talking about, utilizing AI, but may not necessarily knowing, how it works and all of that. But I'll get into my introduction. So, ko wai au, he uri hou no horike me rarotonga hau, ko Tyrone Tangata Makiri tuki ingoa. Yeah, my name is Tyrone. I am, yeah, both Cook Island and of Māori descent as well. I hail from, I guess, a place called Gleninnis in East Auckland. So I rep that as much as I represent my culture. I am a father of two. Shout out to my partner, who's also business partner and life partner, Camilla, who's on this call as well. And I will say, me being a father is probably the most rewarding and hardest job I have in my life. Being able to kind of jump into this corridor is kind of this, yeah, things that we love to do, and a big part of why myself and Camilla are doing the work that we're doing is because we see the future that our children are going to be walking into, and hopefully we can prepare not only them but their peers and everyone else with this kind of AI journey that we're all going through as well. In terms of, yeah, my background is in creative technologies when I studied that at AUT. So I have a background in kind of storytelling, creating things from scratch. So whether that be trying to code things or trying to make things, and that's obviously changed dramatically now with AI, and we'll talk a bit more into that. But yeah, thank you all for being a part of this corridor. I'm really excited to share a bit more around what we do, and also get you guys to be involved in this process. So let's move into being involved in this process. So we're going to play a bit of a game that leads off with the breakout room question that we just had, called Have You Ever Used or Interacted with Blank? Okay, so we're going to play this game together. Basically, how the game goes is that everyone's going to start the game by raising their hand. Now, you can raise it physically if you want, but luckily we're on a Zoom call. You will see that you can also raise your hand by clicking the react. So if you go to your bottom, if you're on your devices, yep, we got some people obviously already know how to raise their hands. Great. Cool. So if everyone can raise their hands, and basically how the game goes is that I want to show you an image of something on screen that can be used or interacted with. And the actions are if you have not used it. So I'll repeat that. If you have not used it, you're going to keep your hand raised. Okay, so you're still in the game. If you have used it, you're going to lower your hand. Okay, so where that raise your hand, there is also a lower hand button as well. Okay, and then unfortunately, you've been eliminated from the game. So there may be things that you see, you want to put your hand back up. So you don't have to put your hand back up. Once you're out, you're out. Okay, that's how it goes. So just reiterate, keep your hand up. If you have not used it, lower your hand if you have. Cool, ka pai, everyone good? Awesome, cool. We'll jump into it, eh? So yeah, the person that has their hand raised by the end of the game will be determined the winner. The truth is, no one has ever won this game. Okay, so we'll see how you guys are. Cool. So I'm going to show you something, and we'll go from there. So the first one is ChatGPT. Who in here has used ChatGPT? Okay, we've seen a few hands already lower itself. Okay, cool. So we're down to a few. Okay, what about this one, Claude? Anyone using Claude or have attempted to use Claude? Cool. We've got a few hands going down. Okay, cool. What about Copilot? Anyone using Copilot within the organizations? Yep. A few more hands are going down, and we're down to a very few, and we still got a lot to go. Okay, what about Netflix? Anyone using Netflix? Cool, we didn't have much hands. Cool, cool. You're not as distracted as I am. Good to hear. What about Spotify? Anyone using Spotify? Oh, we still got a few hands. Wow. Very cool. Very cool. Just to kind of give a bit of context and background, how most of these apps, Netflix and Spotify, all their recommendations that you get, they're using what they call machine learning, which is part of AI. Okay, just a bit of context. Okay, what about YouTube? Ever use YouTube? Oh, wow, we still got some hands raised not watching YouTube. Cool. How about Google? Wow. You guys are impressing me. I may need to know how you guys are functioning online because I struggle with what I do, not being able to use these ones. What about any of these social media platforms? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Have you used any of those? Wow, very cool. What about this? Burger King. Anyone gone to Burger King recently? Um, I probably have to admit I've gone to this. Oh, we had a few go down. Okay, Burger King was the one. Have to admit I've talked to Patty in the drive-through more times than I wish. But yeah, obviously you can talk to AI within the drive-through at the moment. Um, what about this place? Pack and Save. Obviously they've got self-serving places now. People always ask, how do you we're in the AI in this. Obviously, if you didn't know, they take photos and they do have a system in which they know who's obviously gone in their store, and it's obviously a way to track if people are stealing. Okay, so that's also there as well. And then another one is GPS. Okay, GPS is using also machine learning to help you with your navigation. One I like to kind of share too, and maybe you guys haven't heard of it, or maybe your organization does use it, is Employment Hero. This the actual tool here is that people are screening when it comes to recruitment using AI as well. So you may not have directly used it, but if you've applied for a job, you may have applied to an organization, they might be using it to screen your CV. Okay, so basically what I want to say is that AI is already in a lot of things that we use or interact with. Okay, and um, the question, though, for ourselves is who gets to decide whether AI should be in it or not? Okay, so that's pretty much the basis of our Kōrero today, and talking about what AI civics is and how this all relates to each other. So, what is AI civics? In our definition, is about helping more people participate in shaping the systems where artificial intelligence is used. Okay, so what does participation look like in an AI civics world? So we've created a ladder. I will have to say it's very much an oversimplification. Oversimplification. Why can I not speak? Maybe I'm using too much AI. But a way of kind of showing how people may be participating in this corridor. Okay, so I'll kind of go through the whole thing. So if we start from the bottom, obviously we start at unknown. People may not know that AI is influencing everything is not yet recognized or known. Okay, so there are a lot of people, and I'll talk about this corridor that have no idea that AI is actually as present as it is. Okay, then we talk about people that are aware. So hopefully you guys are now more aware of the presence that AI has within the systems and environments in which we operate in, as shown in that game previously. Then we move into kind of using. So using is what we talk about in terms of people that are utilizing these tools, but may not necessarily know what's kind of the underlying conditions there. So like you guys answered in your question, you guys are using things or interacting with things, but may not necessarily know, how that actually works. I'll come back to the line, but the next I guess phase on this ladder is what we call questioning. So questioning is actually critically examining AI's role and impact across society. So these are, questioning actually, how does this work? Why does it create this? Where exactly does AI show up in some of the tools that we may use? And then our top two, we got what we call designing. So designing is actively shaping how AI is used across system and context. What this may look like as an example, is that you may use AI to shape things, or you may be actually going, how can AI be used or not used? And our last one that we have in this ladder is what we call determining. So this is actually directing how it may be developed, how it may be deployed, and how it may be governed. And I just want to kind of raise two things when it comes to the top two. Obviously, like anything, it's very hard to maybe design or determine something if you don't have the context of how it works. So when it comes to these kind of top twos, actually, it's really talking into, how can you have more understanding around how it technically works? When we're talking about governance, I guess similar to, the political arena, is how do you have more information about how the system works in order to determine maybe what can happen. Okay, so this is kind of a ladder that we use to kind of measure people's participation in shaping AI. And I want to draw the attention there to the left hand side, and kind of bring consciousness around why there's that middle line. So kind of what we talk about is that AI civics is either being imposed on you, or you're either shaping it. And I guess for most of us, probably have realized, hopefully through the breakout room question, and also going through that little exercise that we just did, is that there are a lot of things that have AI in it, and we're just running with it. And Kapai, there's no me telling you off or any of that. That's just the reality of things. That AI is in a lot of things that we use. And, many of us are just
Oh, you're looking to, oh, sorry, missed that. Sorry.
Cowboy. Many of us are obviously just operating and hoping it works for us. And I guess big part of AI civics is about how can we shape it? How can we have more people questioning, what's happening with this technology? How can we have more people designing, systems, knowing how AI can be a part of it, or utilizing AI in such a way to redesign maybe systems that already exist as well? And then how can we determine it? How can we actually be whether at the table of a organization saying this is what we should be doing with it, or maybe at a central government level saying this is maybe how we should do it. But it's very hard to obviously be able to participate if you have no context of how it works. So when we talk about participation, especially within this kind of AI civic space, this is how we talk about it. Cool. Can't wait. I'll move on. So for us, it's the question has been, how do we enable more people to participate in shaping the systems where artificial intelligence is being used? So as I shared briefly before in my introduction, is that I am a co-founder of Second Half alongside Camilla. And we do this mahi in communities and with community organizations, and helping them navigate artificial intelligence with confidence. So what does that look like? So we've run many what we call AI exploration workshops, sharing what AI is, how to use it, and where it's going. For most people, they may have experienced it. Not everyone's online researching, what people are doing internationally and everything like that. So we run these AI exploration workshops to kind of give context around where it is in your world, but also kind of give insight to where the world is heading as well. So we've run them across the Motu. I should probably say we've actually run it across North Island. No one's invited us to South Island yet, so if you want to invite us, we're more than happy to come. But we only called by invite. We are actively trying to serve those that maybe hear about us and want to run something. But we've done a lot. All of them are in person. We've found that being in person, we're able to have the I would say real kōrero. We actually hear questions that I guess not your typical questions that you may have. The questions around, is this Terminator? Is this Skynet? To questions around, what about Taiao in our environment with all these data centers? What about cultural sovereignty and data sovereignty? What about the jobs that, are they going to be gone, or are we going to have new jobs? And we have some real in-depth kōrero, and it's made possible when we have in-person workshops. So we've run a few of these across the Motu. We also work alongside a lot of organizations or community organizations, and have delivered a lot of capability training. So I guess there's a lot to explain, I guess, with AI, but there's so much you can do. That's not just within, I guess, building, I guess, things like applications or even utilizing ChatGPT and how you could, or Copilot or Claude and how you can utilize those. There's actually so many different things you can do. So a lot of our capability trainings are really dependent on where that community organization wants to go, and really what they want to do. So we've done a lot around the motu as well with that. And yeah, we've managed to have over 1,000 people within our in-person workshops, and most of them are pretty much wānanga spaces. We try our best not to be teachers. We try our best to be facilitators and really get people into a circle and being able to have a corridor around this while us showing slides and having that conversation. And like I said before, yeah, we just find a lot of the conversation a lot more richer when you have people in a circle and being able to, I guess, be in this shared space and share their real thoughts around what they think about AI. And for us, we always make sure that we measure, I guess, the knowledge and confidence through the room. Our goal is to ensure that people feel like they have learnt something, and feel hopefully a lot more confident. And when I talk into confidence, that doesn't necessarily mean that people are wanting to run and adopt AI. I think the confidence comes that they potentially have more information to make their decision. So a big part of our kaupapa is making sure that people have the agency to choose, what that may be. We do, if people are sharing more challenges on it, we may share there are some other benefits you can look into. Vice versa, if people are just sharing benefits, we're like, have you considered all these risks that are around AI as well? And yeah, we've been fortunate that a lot of people have shared that they've either increased or sustained their knowledge and confidence with AI. So where does this all lead to in terms of what we've found out? The truth is, and you guys may all share it as well, is that a lot of people tell us there's a lot of fear around this, more than optimism. We don't know what this is. We don't know what it does. We don't know if we want to interact. Some people, maybe like yourselves, are in organizations where it's part of it. We've been told we need to use it, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm using, and this is very true across the country and all the workshops we run and have run, sorry. And I think for us, that's partly why we feel like we've been called to, is to ensure that people can have actual conversations around this and be shared more information around this. Because a lot of people actually tell us, they're like, the only thing I know about AI is I saw this thing on Facebook and it said this and it said that. And I think, yeah, ideally we're hoping to share more information so people can make a greater informed choice around their use. And I think this always comes back to, and everyone shares it in their own way, that, these decisions around AI will affect us all. And I think this comes back to this whole corridor around AI civics, is that if it's going to affect us, how can we be a part of shaping that and suggesting how that may turn out? Okay. And for me, one of the biggest things, has been around how do we support our communities. But also at the heart of it, for myself, and I could probably share for Camilla as well, has been around how do we support our actual whānau. So big kind of driver for me has been, when I studied creative technologies, so that was many moons ago. Maybe I won't reveal my age, but it was many moons ago. And at that time, I learned about automation and, what they may do. And at that time, the automation was talking about robots coming and how that may, disrupt industries that mostly my family were in. So my family's family that loves kind of labor intense or hard labor jobs. And I was kind of looking at it like, if that thing comes, what does it mean to the income or, to my whānau financially? So that's kind of where my passion came from. But interesting enough, there's something else that came in 2019, 2020 that actually got me and my whānau working together, because we were looking at things to go, how can we support each other? So I'm going to give you context to a project, and then I'm going to talk into how kind of this AI civics kind of ties into it as well. So like I said, 2019, there was this thing called COVID that came around that we all obviously experienced in our own ways. And at that time, I was looking across, trying to figure out, what is it actually going to do? Like I shared, my family were in jobs that they actually needed to physically be out there. So coming into Zoom calls and doing all this, there was very much fear around how would they be able to financially support themselves. So at that time, we were trying to work together as a whānau of like, how could we work together to ensure that if something happens, you guys may be financially better. So I was actually trying to find a model for my family. that could use to save money together. So somehow we get money, things got disrupted, they maybe be able to pull money together. Fortunately, I found this concept online called Savings Pool. Shout out to Living Economies Trust. They're the ones that actually created this whole concept. So it's not a concept that we had created out of thin air. They are a organization that actually supports people to create savings pools. So found the model, worked with them to kind of understand it, and got them to even talk to my family about it and what it does. So this is me and my whānau. We met, start of 2020 to talk about this and organize together and come together around creating a savings pool. Now, just to give a little brief idea of what the concept is basically you can bring money together, put it into a shared bank account, and there's a whole kind of process of how you can loan money from that and ensure that people can loan from it. What this is really good for is that, for our family, we talked about the challenges of savings. So they were having challenges of just saving pūtea in general, but also a lot of the family expressed, they don't necessarily have good credit. So being able to borrow if things got tough would be tough. So the reason why this model worked for us is because it gave us the opportunity to kind of work together, build collectively, but ensure that we could also be supportive of each other. So yeah, this is my whānau and the work we did back then. Now the good thing is we're still been continuing on for 6 years. 6 years now, and it's been awesome. Just there's been so much that's happened over that time. But the challenge is that these savings pools all ran on Excel sheets. And I saw someone in the chat say, we avoid Excel sheets. So you know very much how challenging it could be, especially trying to track transactions, trying to track decisions around the savings pool. It got really tough. So this is something that I actually work with the Living Economies Trust around. Is there an app? Is there some type of system that has been created so we can manage this better? And people had attempted it, but not didn't actually quite get there. So for us, we were like, how can we create our own system to manage this pool? So end of last year, we were able to run a co-design process with my whānau. We managed to create an app and a system that works for us. So everyone has this web app that they can actually access, look at all what they have in terms of their balance and everything that happens within that savings pools and making decisions. But the cool thing is that people got to actually decide what is it that we want to see in this app? How can we make it? It's not your standard get it off app store app. It's actually been really thought about the people that are in it and how would you interact with it and what do you want to see? And the cool thing about this is that we didn't have to pay a big developer. Maybe, the support of myself probably helped a little, but the ability to actually make those decisions as a whānau and then decide on what this could look like as well. So yeah, I guess part of this Kōrero and big part of what we're doing is how do we make decision making sit closer to the people that it impacts? And I think that's a real core central thing of what AI Civics is that if we have this technology that exists and it's around us and we are not making those decisions, how can we? And what does that actually look like? And obviously that needs more than just understanding what it is. That does need a bit of I would say even political courage, even courage from organizations to actually really look at how we can collapse, I guess, those who make decisions to those that are also impacted by that as well. So our thing that we were going to do for this end of our presentation was we were going to break out into a breakout room and answer the question, what is one thing you could start to rethink so decision making sits closer to the people that it impacts? However, I thought maybe the best thing we could do is actually show AI civics in practice or in action. So this may still be the final exercise, but what we're going to actually do is get you to decide what this actually all looks like. Okay, so what does that mean? So basically, I've created a web app. And when I say created, I'll give a bit more instructions of how I created it at the end, but have kind of created an app that we can actually utilize together today to decide what we do next. Okay, so what does that mean? In 90 seconds, not in 90 seconds, but you're going to get 90 seconds, you will all collectively decide what format and question we will run to finish our session. Okay, so what that looks like. So hopefully you've got a phone available. You'll be able to scan this QR code. Okay, so this QR code will then take you into a session. Basically, you should see what is on the right-hand side. So put your name, so whatever, it could be your name or even nickname, and then you'll enter the session. So I'll give you a quick 30 seconds to do that, write your nickname, and then you'll be taken to another screen. Make sure everyone can do that first, and then I'll talk about the next part.
Just in case, for those that don't know how to scan, it's go to your photo, take a photo of it, and it'll pop up with a just in case.
And we will chuck in the chat a link if you want to as well. You're more than welcome to jump on the link and do it. Hopefully you've got a second screen because you'll just be jumping back and forth, and I'll explain it soon. So ideally your phone, but if you want to, there will be a link soon that will be populated in the chat for you to participate as well. Cool, awesome. So now that you've hopefully entered your name and entered the session, cool. I can see a lot of people populating, which is great. You should see something like this. So it should obviously say you've joined. It's got the breakout format and also the proposed question. So what I'm going to do soon is I'm going to show my screen, and it's going to look like this, as you can see. And basically, we're going to see a live tally of what you're choosing in terms of format and choosing in terms of question. And then what I'm going to do is, you can see in the top corner, I'm going to start the session. So I haven't started it yet, just to let you know. I'm going to start it very soon. But once it's started, you're going to see this. So what's going to populate is you're going to see choose format. So you're going to have options you can choose. So you can choose them. Okay, so you can go through whatever they are currently there. There's also going to be choose a question. So we've got some options there available. But the cool thing too, whether it's a format or question, you can actually select the bottom. Again, you won't see that now, but you'll see it once you get in there, where you can suggest another format or question. And what it will look like is something like this. So you can basically say this. So you might want to discuss the gas prices. I don't know, whatever they may be. Okay. And then you can post it. And then once you post it, you can vote on it as well. Okay. So everyone will be able to jump into this, vote, or suggest ideas if you want. Okay. And basically, I'll just be showing you a live tally on my screen and everyone can see. Now, a few rules just to make sure that we get through this is that you can change your option. Okay, so you can change options and just keep going through, but whatever the last option is when the time runs out will be your selected option. Okay, so there'll be a timer in the corner where you can have a look, and also I'll show my screen. Also, you can add, like I said, your own format and question, and you can vote on it. Okay, so you can add whatever. So there's going to be probably a bit of pandemonium if we really be honest, because people might add a few questions. Okay. And we're going to even create more pandemonium potentially, is that I'm going to give you the chance to talk openly. So if you want to come off mute and actually influence the decision of people and what format and questions, you're more than welcome to as well. So this is going to be very hard and fast, 90 seconds of people choosing a format and question, but you guys have the ability to shape what that looks like. Okay, and then works best on phone. Again, like we said, we will share a link in our chat if it isn't already there, for you to click on as well. And I think the only other thing, sorry, I'll go back, is that have fun, enjoy it, and you guys are hopefully get to experience what AI civics in practice looks like. So I'm just going to quickly jump out of this screen. Give me a second. And I'm going to jump into this screen and I'm going to start the session. So is everyone ready? Is everyone ready to jump in? Cool. Car fight. Oh, I think my camera's moving. There we go. Ready? We're set. Go. So you should see hopefully something change on your screen. And then you're more than welcome to influence the room, jump up on the mic and say whatever you want. So just got under a minute left. No one wants to jump on and say why their question should be it, or if it's specific format. Cool, we got a bit of movement going on there on the question. I don't know how you guys are experiencing this, but it might be interesting seeing it live because you're like, oh, wow, could we change it all? Cool, and got 22 seconds left. So feel free to change may want to last second influence the room around what one you really want to do. Cool. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. So you should all have gotten something on your screen saying which one got chosen. So it looks like we're staying with the original format, which is probably great for administration of this kaupapa today. But hopefully there was just a little kind of insight into what AI civics is that how can we give the decision-making power back to people that are being affected or a part of something and making that decision. So question there is obviously we're going to run our breakout rooms and then we're going to obviously answer that question. Now, I know it may take a little bit of time to get into those breakout rooms. So does anyone have any partai or anything they want to share before we get into those breakout rooms? And I'll try and look through chat as well.
Oh, kia ora. I just wanted to say that was really cool. In my mahi, we often use Menti, so we do surveys, live surveys with people, but that can be a bit clunky. I quite liked that. Yeah.
Cool. I appreciate it. I guess maybe to speak into it too, so everyone's aware of what got used and what do we use. So I use AI Google Studio. So it's something free if you have a Gmail account. And then you can create stuff like this. I probably should put a disclaimer too that when creating these things, there are security things that you have to be really mindful and considerate of. But as you guys can all see, you can create something and really facilitate processes in interesting and different ways. And it only took me 2.5 hours to do that. There's a little bit of testing that I needed to do, ensuring that it could work on devices and all of that. But it's so fun. I'll put it out there. That was very fun to create, and it was good to witness you guys all being able to partake in it as well. So, yeah, any other parts before we get into breakout rooms? And let me know, breakout team, if we're there yet or not. More than welcome for you to jump in and jump us into that.
We're ready when you are, Tyrone.
Cool, awesome. Well, we'll jump into it now, and then if you've got any other parts, I will definitely have a Q&A after as well. Cool, that's us. Hi. So yeah, hopefully you guys had fruitful discussions within the breakout rooms. Obviously I shared kind of how it was built as well. And I do just want to start before I get into my kind of last slides is that I saw some questions around, obviously within the organizations that you may be a part of, there's obviously already, I guess, direction. And, some of the things that I'm even showing today might not be necessarily possible because of maybe an app or that I'm using. And I think this is kind of the interesting part of the conversation, right? Is that things are being decided, how much, as I guess you as members of those organizations have been a part of those discussions, and how can you be more part of those discussions. What I do want to say too is a caveat is that because you can use these tools, a lot of the platforms and ecosystems have their own version of it. I won't get into the kind of gritty details around that, but I use Google because on the Google ecosystem with the stuff that I do. But Microsoft, if you're in 365, have their own versions of how you can create stuff, and similarly to some of the other ecosystems as well. So kind of want to put out there that yes, there are some things you have to be mindful of, especially within an organization, how you operate, but also trying to hopefully open the space that you can design, and there's ways to do this. And I think there's also a question around for those that are in the space that are working with communities, there's your use, but then also how do you support others with their use as well. Okay, so a lot to share in there, and maybe there's some partai around that. But I just wanted to conclude I finished, I guess, the main Kōrero is that, for AI civics and the way that we see it, it's not necessarily about making everyone an expert or even turning everyone into an AI user. Like, ideally, great, people like myself that catch the bug and going on a self-led learning journey, watching YouTube and trying to figure out how these things work and talking to other people, maybe getting into, higher education around trying to learn about AI and all of that. But I think that's a decision that you all will have the privilege to make, and all of us can hopefully make for yourself, depending on what you want to do. But for us, AI Civics is about providing people the opportunity to shape the systems that are shaping us, okay? And I think hopefully what I've shared through this whole talk today is that this technology is everywhere. It's already being used. And I think we have to kind of figure out ways in which we can get more people being able to participate in those decisions. So yeah, tēnā koutou, thank you for your time today. Happy to answer any of the partai here before we head out. And yeah, appreciate not only you as the audience, but also appreciate the team for running today. This has probably been the most smoothest Zoom thing I've ever been a part of, if I had to be honest. So just, yeah, appreciate the team for running this today. Ka pai.
We're getting a lot of good feedback in terms of your kōrero that you've shared today, Tyrone. We've got one from Marissa that's sharing her and acknowledging how good the session has been. Has anyone got any partai that they'd like to ask Tyrone? We've got one. It's not really a partai, but I guess it's most probably a statement of some sort. But just concerns about AI inherent racism on how the select participants and how it declines the people challenge a bot.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's what's from Pippa.
Yeah, happy to, I guess, share. So yeah, that is there's actually evidence around that, especially within the supermarket space around, taking photos, and there's been a bias to how it sees Māori Pacific people specifically, and there's stuff that you can read online around that. And I think that's why it's really important that, when we consider this technology, it's who's actually developing it. What were the intentions to developing it? Because obviously whoever develops it, the bias that they hold obviously is going to go through it as well. So it's a real question. I have a perspective on it, don't necessarily have the answer, but I think part of my answer is that if we have more of our people understanding it, or more people understanding it, more people developing it, especially if it's affecting or of concerning for a particular audience, why aren't they in the room? Why aren't they in the room trying to help decide what that looks like? So yeah, don't know if that's an answer to your question, Pippa, but I think this is the point of AI Civics. How do we get more people in the room?
Right. Any other partai from anyone?
Yeah, kia ora.
Kia ora, okay.
Kia ora. Kia ora. Kia ora, Tyrone. Beautiful kōrero. Thank you for sharing. What advice would you give for us who are trying to understand it in terms of like exploring AI and like, I know like for me personally, I've just like typed into AI, what are you? Or like, like in chat, like where are you from and that. But do you have any other practical advice around how we can learn more about these tools?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for the question. So I think there's a few different ways. One of them is that obviously this is information that's also online and readily online. So a lot of what I'm talking about, there is things that you can find and go on YouTube. One of the biggest things that we talk about around using AI, and also I guess this is about learning about AI, is how do you practice discernment? Because there's a lot of information. How do you know which is right, which is wrong? I can't right now point you to a place where it has everything that I would say is something that we believe in. Even we don't have stuff online to say this is the stuff you should look at. But I will say that there is, depending on, I guess, the space you're looking at. So if you're wanting to utilize AI, a lot of the providers, whether that be Microsoft and all that, have like trainings specifically online that you can go through and learn about how to use that specific platform. So there is that. There's also, in the context of like locally, there's so many people that have I guess, created opportunities for people to learn online as well, if you wanted to go learn from them. So there's AI Forum as one, and they have a lot of an ecosystem of people that you can reach out to as well, that they've kind of said these are people that you can learn from. And then we're also one of them as well. We do run, obviously, our workshops and everything to support people to help understand what it is and how to use it best. So I know that wasn't succinct, but I will say that the provider using, so if you want to use ChatGPT, you can actually go on ChatGPT and they've got ways that you can use it better, or Microsoft Copilot, or any of others tools that exist out there. There are some local things. AI Forum is kind of the thing for Aotearoa, and you can go look through their ecosystem, and there's different providers. And then, yeah, there are people like us that you can contact as well.
Yeah. Hey, Tyrone, just a pātai it's come through. What might the role of local government be specifically in this kōrero in the context of AI?
How long do we have? I, I guess for me, I guess the point, and I should probably give context there. We've been going to a lot of within, I guess, Auckland as a example, going to different local boards and speaking around what is their kind of thoughts around AI, or what are their policies, and what are they thinking around communities. I'd have to say that many are unknown of what that actually looks like, and what they should be doing. And for me, I think um, there are some really great things that can be done with AI, and how do we share what those are. But I think there are some societal challenges that are impending. And I don't want to get into this whole fear game of like, we're going to lose jobs and all that. I just think there's going to be disruptions in different ways. So ideally, I hope that local government were a lot more proactive around this kōrero. But obviously, there's fear even for themselves around what this actually means. So the answer for me is hopefully we can help prepare them, and we're trying our best to work alongside them and share some stuff and connect them into different ecosystems to do some stuff. But ideally, yeah, there's a lot more work that can be done to prepare our communities.
Goodbye. Any others? Any last pātai? Anyone else before we Whakakapi, close up our session, or conclude our session for the day? I know we're getting a lot of kōrero, everyone's saying, oh, this wānanga's not long enough, though. Yeah, so like, in future, if there's anything else that's going where people can jump into some sessions that you're hosting, that'll be good for everyone to know. But yeah, looks like no one else has got any other pātai. We've got, so Kelly's just added a link there with the newsletter that brings together all the latest news on AI. So that link's on our chat forum. Other
Awesome.
than that,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share, because I think there's a question from Amy around conversation around locally sovereign and owned AI systems. Obviously, today was the time we had, and there's a lot more that can be shared. But you guys, by the sounds of it, and looking at all your name tags, are all part of organizations that obviously have hopefully strategies and policies, and are using a particular ecosystem to operate. What I do want to mention when it comes to the space is that there are different ways to kind of approach using AI. Obviously, there's a need for guidance around to do that safely and responsibly, but and maybe another kōrero, if you wanted to have it with myself or come to one of our workshops or sessions, we show people how they can do it locally as well. You can actually have a local AI model on your computer and do things. Maybe not your work computer, because it might not work. But there are other ways to approach this kōrero as well. And how do we have more of our communities understanding that, knowing that, and making decisions around that as well. So yeah, just wanted to highlight Amy's statement there. And
we got a couple of hours with you on Monday, which I'm very excited about.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of gratitude shown in the chat forum about how awesome kōrero is today, and the decisions that are just giving examples again, allowing everyone the space to share decision making. So it's been awesome. I think other than that, Amy's kōrero, we've got that pātai. Yeah, it looks like you're booked up for the next lot of weeks, Tyrone. So e mihi ana ki a koe. E kore arikarika ngā kupurere hua ki a koe tau. Nā runga nui ngā kōrero. Ko tukuna iho ki enei tarenga no, no ngā wāhi puta i ngā motu ngā rohenga. O reira, ko ngā whakamana watu ki runga ki a koe. Just wanted to pay special mention to you and your mahi that you're doing. And there looks like there's a lot of people out there that are really interested as well. Still have a lot of growth as well to learn what this thing is, AI. And I speak for myself in terms of that. So yeah, just really grateful for your knowledge and your experience that you've shared today. It's been wonderful to listen to you, and being you know, an interactive session as well. I'm sure everyone has appreciated it, and I loved the session today. And again, wish there was longer time to interact in this way. So e mihi ana kia koe e hon. So as I mentioned earlier today, with Jackie, our illustrator, completing the illustration with today's, it'll be shown again in 2 weeks' time. However, I'm just going to open it up for Jackie, or invite Jackie to share her illustration that she has for now.
Hopefully you can see that.
Take a leisurely gaze of
So
the
many
illustration.
ideas, not many pictures yet.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful, Jackie.
I'm put into
anything that you come up with that you put together is beautiful. So mihi ana kia koe, right?
Tēnā koe.
Love it. So again, everyone, this will be available in another 2 weeks' time for everyone to download and use and share. So yeah, that'll be included in the next invite for the next month's session. So please share feedback on the sessions, what you liked and what you didn't like, what was helpful and what wasn't helpful, what was useful. Please put that in the chat. We have, our pānu on notice that we need to mention. So just for our new Practice Foundations members that have jumped on, who would like to receive invites for the next lot of sessions, please sign up via the Co-Design Lab website by emailing the lab. So that's how you do that. Again, thank you very much. E mihi ana ki ngā kai, ngā taringa, whakarongo ana ki ngā kōrero, acknowledging everyone that's jumped on our session today. It's been wonderful having everyone, some old faces, some new faces as well. So those new faces, hopefully you come back next month to our next session. So yeah, our next session is another exciting session. We're welcoming Leslyn Jackson, Program Lead from Manaaki Tairawhiti. Manaaki Tairawhiti is the regional leadership group for social wellbeing in Te Tairawhiti. Tairawhiti Manaaki, Manaaki Tairawhiti, sorry, is not a service provider for funder. Instead, they generate evidence and insights that map significant parts of the social sector system, highlight systems, failures, and barriers that leave whānau needs and aspirations unmet. Through this work, we can identify why social services do not systematically support whānau and provide recommendations to improve the system as a whole. So that's our kai kōrero for next month. Please join us. If it resonates with you, I'm sure it'll be a gem kōrero. So please come and share some insights, share some kōrero. So kia kunui, kia kurahi, tēnā rā koutou ko whai wahi mai ki tā tātou kōrero, ki tā tātou wānanga. Hope you all have a wonderful day and the sun shining in your area and on your region. Tui tēnā. Have a great day. Ka tuku ngā whakawhetai ki tā tātou ki ngā atua. Ko te tapu o nei kōrero ka whakairihia ki ngā pātu o tēnā whare. Kia tikina atu anō ai atona wā, kia turuturu wōta, kia turuturu wotai, kia turuturu o whiti whakamaua, kia tīna. Haumi e hui e, tai kia.